time for another Allen in Action sponsor spotlight. And now, the host of the show, Mark Frito Friedman.
All right, it is time for another Allen Fairview Chamber of Commerce business spotlight. And today we're talking to Kim McCarty of the McCarty Group Realtors. Keller Williams?
Yes.
All right, now how long have you been doing it?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years, yes.
Okay.
So we started in Amarillo, Texas, and I moved to Wichita, Kansas, and then we moved to Allen about 12 years ago.
What do you like most about it?
Well, I love helping people find houses or sell their houses and move on to new chapters in their lives. So I kind of like being a part of their life from start to downsizing after the kids leave.
Okay, now I saw that on your website that evidently from your website I'm learning that you have customers that have moved several times.
Yes. So, we see people when they buy their very first house, and then when they have kids and get married, and then when the kids go off to college. Now, since we've been doing it long enough, we're starting to see those people downsize and the kids move off. So several families we've helped move a couple times.
Okay, and you specialize in first-time home buyers?
I love first-time home buyers. Don't necessarily specialize in them, but I love first-time home buyers because it is a tough market right now for first-time home buyers. So I like to help them learn about the market and teach them about the process, and they're more willing to listen. They haven't been jaded from the past experiences, so I like to work with them and help them.
And they're very excited about it.
They're very excited. They're very excited, and they're very appreciative of everything that you do.
Now, I can go back to when I first bought a house, and the market was completely different.
Okay.
I've only purchased one house. I'm your worst nightmare, probably. But I purchased this house right in the middle of the subprime mortgage.
Okay.
And so it was incredibly easy for me.
Right.
I mean, incredible, to the point where I purchased a house with no money down. They should never give me the loan.
Right.
No money down.
No job. No.
No credit.
There you go.
And I don't really think they checked my income that
Yes.
rigorously.
Yes.
But it was a whole lot easier back then. And one of the things that I worry about now is if I want to sell my house, is actually
can you find someplace to go?
That process again, finding
Right.
a place.
Right. And then can you qualify for the loan?
Yes.
Yes. So, that's an important part of starting the process. So before we even start looking for houses, we get them approved with a lender that we do a lot of business with and make sure that they can qualify for the loan, make sure there isn't going to be any road bumps along the way, and hopefully make sure that process is going to be the easiest that it can be. Yeah.
And you're in Collin County?
Collin County. So we serve most of Collin County. So Allen, McKinney, Frisco, Plano, Richardson. We're doing a lot in Salina and Prosper right now. So we're moving out that way. And then we can also refer business to in any location. So if you have somebody looking to move to another state, another city, we can help find a great agent in that state or city that they're going to.
Is there a specific type of price range or type of home that you specialize in? Or?
No, I mean, we do all price ranges. I will tell you that our probably average sales price right now is around $400,000, and that's just pretty much where our market is. But we sell, $700,000 homes all the way down to $150,000 homes. So we'll do leases. So we help people who are not in a position to buy right now find a lease property and then keep in touch with them until they're ready to buy and help them get their steps in order to purchase in the next year or two.
Leases. Do you make any money on leases? How do you?
Very little money. So usually when we do a lease, it's one month's rent is the payment for that. And what we do is the listing agent usually pays me 35% of that 1 month's rent. And then my office takes their cut out of it. And so by the end of it, I'm probably making a couple $100.
Okay, I'm not going to edit this out because that says a lot about you that you're willing to do that.
Okay. Because
I would imagine it's almost just as difficult.
Sometimes it can be more difficult because people who are leasing sometimes have some issues with their credit. That's sometimes why they're leasing, or they don't have enough income. So it can be sometimes more difficult. And they sometimes have special, pets and things like that landlords don't want. So, knowing those things up front, like knowing, okay, we've had a bankruptcy in the last 3 years. We do have a foreclosure, or we have some credit issues. And explaining those before I even present the application to the landlord or to the other agent, helping them get through that process is sometimes makes it a little easy. So yeah, we don't make a lot of money on those leases, but my goal is to help them get into a position where they can buy in the future.
Okay, and that's why I'm not going to edit this out, because I know a little bit about you, and a lot of what I know about you is from what other people say about you.
Okay.
So, and other people speak very highly of you, by the way.
Well, thank you.
But you like to help people.
I do.
Whether you're making money on it or not, it's just something that is a passion of yours.
It's a passion to just help people and do the right things, be a resource for people. I find if I, am a resource and they call me and they say, hey, who do you know that does this? Or who do you know that does this? And what do you think about this? And be there for those questions, that when they think of a real estate agent, hopefully they think of me, whether it's for their own sale or their own purchase, but for their families and their friends. So that's what my goal is.
And you know a lot about a lot of stuff.
Well, I know a lot about real estate.
Yes,
I can tell you that.
That's where I'm going. I should have said you know a lot about real estate that a lot of us don't really know.
I do know a lot about real estate. I know a lot about the market. And I think my favorite thing, believe it or not, is the numbers in real estate, and really looking at data and looking at the numbers and knowing where the market's going, where things are starting to turn and change, and kind of being on top of that and helping buyers and sellers make really smart decisions.
So if I call you and tell you that I want to sell my house in December, and you look at the market and realize, well, you know what, maybe a better time to sell
now.
Okay.
Yeah. Because usually in the winter we're coming off lower numbers because it slows down. And so you can only go back 6 months when you're looking at doing a price analysis. So we can only go back 6 months because that's what appraisers do. And so I only go back 6 months to really look at the data. And when you're coming off of a really good summer season, yes, you've got some higher numbers, but when you're getting into December, you start to fall off of those higher numbers and you have less to choose from. And plus your buyer pool is a little bit smaller too. People, especially in Collin County, tend to move during school vacation times. So the summer is a hot time for us because they want to get their kids into the next school for the new school year. So that's where we tend to see the most movement. And that's why. It's just because Collin County is so driven by the schools.
How did you get into the business?
Well, actually, my granddad owned his own real estate company in Wichita, Kansas. And so it's kind of been in my blood for a long time. I taught school when I first got out of college. So I have a degree in education, and I taught preschool, basically Head Start is where I was in Amarillo when I was living in Amarillo. And I just decided that we were not going to be able to have children if I continued to teach 74-year-olds and 5-year-olds every day. And Keith and I wanted children. And so I said, well, I got to come up with something else because I can't do this. And so I thought, well, why not? Like everybody else, I'll just get in real estate, right?
There are a lot of people
There are
in
a
real
lot
estate,
of people
yes.
that do that. I'll just get in real estate. It'll be easy. Right. So that's basically how I jumped into it. But there is a family connection. And then when we moved to Wichita, Kansas, my aunt is a top sales agent for the last 40 years in Wichita, Kansas. And so I actually joined her team and became her assistant and learned for 6 years all about the business. And so I give credit where credit is due. She really taught me the ins and outs of the business. She taught me how to get business, how to get involved in your community, and really just come from a side of doing the right thing, and it'll come back to you.
Okay, so it's not that easy.
It is not that easy. No, real estate is not that easy. And, there's a lot of us out there. There's over 17,000 agents in Collin County alone.
In Collin County?
In Collin County.
Wow.
So there's a lot of real estate agents. But that 80-20 rule still applies. 80% don't do a whole lot and 20% do most of the business. So there are a lot of us out there, but there aren't a lot that do a whole lot of business. And my job is full-time. This is all I do.
Okay, what does it take to be a top agent?
It takes a lot of connections. So it takes a lot of continually keeping in touch with people. I mail out a newsletter every month. I call people and just touch base with them all the time, checking in, birthday cards. They got anniversary. I drop by their house with presents. I'm constantly trying to keep my name in front of them so that if they ever decide to move or they know someone that does, they'll think of me. And a lot of people say to me, oh, we're not ever moving.
Just
people
like I just said, yes.
I'm not ever moving. People tell me that all the time. And I always say to them, it's not about you. It's about who you know. So, trying to change their mindset.
See, because I've often thought that, like for my wife, real estate be great. She's great with people.
Right.
And she's got a lot of the great qualities.
Right.
But then I think, what a long game that is because, for example, I know you, Kim.
Right.
And if I'm going to sell my house, there's
Right.
a very good chance I'm going to use you.
Right.
But I'm not planning on selling my house. So you can send me those newsletters.
All the time, right? But that keeps my name in front of you.
It does, yes.
So that when people say to you, I think we're going to move, you can say, oh, I have a great person that you should call. And then that warm lead right there helps me out of the gate when I meet with people. It really does help me. If I look at where all my business comes from and I track it, I have a whole system. And if you came into my office, you could see I have a board where I track every sale for the year and where it came from. And it has a whole letter system. So if it was a referral from my Met database from people I know, or if it was a referral from my volleyball, from my kids' clubs, things like that. So I really keep track of where everything comes.
So you stay pretty involved in the community also.
I do. We have 2 kids, so we do volleyball almost every weekend, it seems. We're at volleyball tournaments.
I'm not going to tell you when you're rolling your eyes right now.
We're constantly at volleyball tournaments. But you know what? I've met some really great people through those volleyball tournaments and been able to help people and their family members move into new places or sell their homes. So it's worked out really well. And then we also have a daughter who's on the Allen shooting team. And so that has opened up a whole new group of friends that we've gotten to get meet and get to know and enjoy being with them.
Okay, and so once again, even if I'm not planning on selling my house, I know people that are going to be selling their houses.
Or that are moving into the area, yes.
And anyone listening right now, and by the way, we have a lot of people that listen to this feed from California.
Okay.
Which I'm embarrassed to say took me a day or two to really figure out why.
Right.
Why would someone in California be listening to a podcast about
We have
Allen?
a lot of people moving this way. Yeah, we have a lot of people moving from California because of all the big businesses that are coming here. So we do have a big influx of people moving from California, also from New York. We have a lot of people coming from New York for Toyota as well. So
Okay, so real quick, we can assume there's a lot of people listening from out of state that are thinking about moving here. What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
get to know the area. So find an agent that can really get to help you get to know that area. What's important for you? Are the schools important for you? Do you have elementary school age kids or do you have high school age kids? What are their interests? What are their likes? You know, getting them into the right mix of people is going to really help them succeed and feel more comfortable about their new home.
Okay, and staying on the advice track, I'm going to sell my house. What's the best piece of advice you can give me before I put the house on the market?
Well, you have to remember everyone starts their search online, right? So everyone is starting online. So you have to have the best staging done. You have to have the best photos done. I always tell my clients, you know, when people show up at the door, that's really our second showing. Our first showing happened online. And whether or not they called the real estate agent to come take a look at it is our second showing. So we have to make our presence perfect online first. And once we do that and we can actually get them in the door, we have a really good chance of them falling in love with the house at that point.
Okay, and how can people get a hold of you?
They can give us a call, 214-662-9308, or look us up online at the McCartyGroupRealtors.com.
Okay, and both those, the website and the phone number are going to be on the show notes as you're listening to this podcast. So just look at the show notes, and you don't have to memorize Kim's phone number or the website.
There you go.
They'll be right there. And we'll be talking to Kim throughout. She's got some great advice. We're about to do an episode about how to appeal your tax
Property
appraisal.
taxes, yes.
So
yes.
Kim's full of great advice, so stay tuned for more.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Local community-based podcasts offer a very cost-effective method of marketing. If you'd like to promote your business or service to the Allen Fairview community, just contact Mark Friedman at 214-250-1633 or log on to the contact page at alleninaction.com. That's www.alleninaction.com.